Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Heafy. I am the co-founder and COO of 6am City, one of the fastest growing local newsletter media companies in the United States right now. Today, we're going to talk about growing new email markets, the good, the bad, the ugly, the dumb stuff that we did. Am I allowed to swear? All right. The dumb shit that we've done, the lessons that we've learned. I would probably swear anyways. I have a problem with that. I'm working on it. I have a 2-year-old. But we're going to talk about new email markets, how this relates both to media and marketing. So I have a couple quick questions. Who here is Greenville oriented? Who here has a journalism-esque background? Who has a marketing-esque background? Who has a new thing? Or newer thing? Who is part of a larger corporation? That's all I need to know. Yeah. All right, see you later. It just helps me better structure the audience that I'm talking to. Talking about this a lot. Usually I'm talking and pitching to investors, but today we're going to do a little bit different and talk a little bit about our actual business operation. I might be certifiably crazy. We started a newsletter company in local and media, two things that are like impossible to start in effectively. And we've been at this since 2016. And today our company's worth north of $30 million, just closed a very large Series A funding round, and are going to be profitable in about the next 60 to 90 days. 2020, when I was here, we were a much smaller company. In 2022, we were burning through about $800,000 a month growing the company. Literally, I think we were lighting cash on fire. Learned a lot of lessons, but we'll hop into all that stuff here in a second. While I was crazy, there was opportunity. We learned, and I think all of you know, that media is a bit divisive. It is politically laden. It is full of all sorts of stuff that's not real and real, and it's all being acquired by private equity and getting destroyed. Right now, today, still, for now almost 15 years, 2 newspapers close their door every single week. And that sucks for both the publishing side of the industry and the marketing side. That's reach. Those are people that you're trying to get out in front of, whether you're a small business or a large business. The landscape is materially changing, and the way we communicate is changing. And one of the things that we've learned is that advertisers are looking for a brand-safe environment. We set ourselves apart by delivering a daily email newsletter, 5-minute read, conversational in tone, all the latest and greatest need-to-know local news and events in the cities that we serve. What do we do different from day one? No politics, no crime and punishment, no divisive topics, focused on driving economic impact in the cities that we serve. How do you help support our growing ecosystem? We can tell people how to go out and vote. We don't have any opinion on it at all whatsoever. These are the people that are on the ballot. Good luck. That's how we participate and try to break down barriers. Prior to this, I ran I did a lot of different things, but one of the things I did was ran a nonprofit locally, and we really learned that people just don't know what they don't know, and this really filled a lot of those gaps. Today, we're in 26 US markets. We're about 1.4 million daily subscribers. We have an e-commerce business, affiliate revenue business, and some other interesting things we'll talk about in a second. One of the things that really let us scale like this is process, and we'll talk more about that in a second. When we first started, this is what our newsletter looked like. There's a lead story, news notes, which are kind of like text ads or bulleted news items in the market. The post of the day, which was social media engagement, trying to get people from the community to participate in the product. We had an asked and answered type section back in the day. And then we had event listings, which were also like a bulleted list of event listings, summarized quick. Well, today it looks exactly the same. It's a little sexier, maybe. It's got some curves on its edges. Highlight our sponsored content, because people used to tell us that we were just shoving sponsored content, not telling them that we were giving it to them. It's almost exactly the same as it was. We've actually leaned back into some of our original assumptions in the recent past, which proved to be very important and true. One of the things that makes us different is our intellectual property, which isn't really intellectual property, but it's our process. 6am City built itself from the ground up in a platform called Trainual. Trainual is a training software. We take all of our business processes, they're revision controlled. It's a searchable database, so I can take an editor, onboard them in 2 weeks as if they'd been in the company for 2 years. That is the biggest thing that sets us apart. We have 2 editors in each of our cities, about 130 total employees. We centralize the marketing team, revenue fulfillment team, sales teams, more so in South Carolina and North Carolina, although many are spread out across the country. And we figured out how to do this. For us, it's almost like a franchise. Each of our cities is the same thing over and over and over again. How do you scale the content? the earned content and the paid content. One of the things that's really interesting for us is we work with a real estate company in Greenville, and we work with a real estate company in Columbia and Charleston and Asheville and Nashville and Boston and Austin. And we run the same content in all different markets. We just tailor it to them. And in that, we've perfected the subject lines, the content, the call to action, the imagery, all of that. And so when I go to I'm in the 26th market and I'm saying, here's the real estate content, here's 12 really great ideas of what you might want to cover, I can almost guarantee the performance. Because we've also learned who our audience is and how to make those things come together. Today, we can launch any net new market in about 60 days. We prefer a 90-day window, but we can get up and running extremely quickly. We usually start now with one editor 3 days a week and then go to 2 editors 5 days a week, supported by a salesperson. But this is kind of a rough swag at it. We've learned how to grow our audience. We can pick up a subscriber for about 86 to 97 cents a subscriber. Lifetime value is $22 in about 36 months. So we feel pretty good about it. One of the things when we grew the company to this size, we learned a lot of lessons. We grew way too fast, and didn't invest in our audience. Talk more about that in a second. This is our primary reader. One of the things about our audience is it's not what we expected when we started. We thought we would have more men. Thought we would have more younger folks. Our audience is definitely female leading and older. A lot of folks who've lost the newspaper are looking for a different medium. The newsletter achieves that really, really well. High earners, strong purchase intent. And we've really been able to learn what people actually want to buy, not just that they buy stuff. We can sell out a nonprofit event, for example, in a couple of hours one morning by promoting it, because we've built this level of credibility and trust in the product. That's not something that most news media outlets have today. We know how to grow them. We have a model in how we launch a new market. We've gotten to the point now where cities are paying us to come, or they're recruiting us to be in market through economic development dollars or other folks that care about our presence. There's a large number of ways. Paid social is still always going to be the winner for us to really guarantee the audience that we want, although we have a lot of other ways that we get there too. Typically between pre-launch and launch, we can get to now almost 30,000 subscribers in 60 days, spending about $20K. And then we can push it up to 100K about as fast as we want within 6 months if we want to. And that's really what we're doing with every net new market. Then you got to keep them. We have one of the lowest churn rates of folks like ourselves. Most of the folks that we're comparing to, though, are national. And national brands have a much higher churn rate than they do on a local level. We're able to go deep in our cities. Against 1.4 million subs, we send out 15,000 a month to not lose anybody or to get them back. And stay even. Right now, we spend about 100,000 a month in growth to build our audience, on pace to about 2.5 million subs this year, which is a milestone for us that supports additional revenue opportunities from our advertising partners. We've learned a lot of things along the way on what milestones and thresholds kind of get us to the next level with advertisers. And so 2.5 is a big number for us. Since day one, we've done asked and answered. We build in affiliate content with the buy, breaking out affiliate because local people don't want national crap in their local newsletter. How do you space things out that don't fit well? So while I'm in the media space, the marketing side's similar in a way in that people expect things in a certain format and a certain time cadence. And every Friday I get in my newspaper, I used to get the police blotter every Saturday. I used to get the crossword puzzle every Saturday. I get my ads or my coupons on whatever, like on the Sunday paper. So like it's the same thing with any marketing channel or a local media company. Now we're doing some really interesting, unique stuff with our newsletters, driving participation and taking the design to another level. None of this is possible without brand partners. One of the things that's super important for us as a media company is having advertisers and identifying our niche areas. It took us about 4 years to figure out really where we stand. But healthcare, travel and tourism, entertainment, local sports teams, minor league and professional, real estate companies, the financial industry, wellness is huge. And we'll talk about what that means today. These folks, as a few of the thousands that are now advertising with us, but a lot of these people started with us in 1 city, 2 cities, 6 cities, and now they're spending, $200,000 a year across multiple markets. Regional advertisers are the best for us. And national we've struggled with because our audience still isn't quite there. Our newsletters are made up of mostly native and display content, native headline, image, copy, CTA, or smaller version of that, or text ad, 50 words with a link, or just banner ads is the core, but we're starting to diversify into some other areas, and we'll talk about that in a minute. When we scaled in 2022, we met somebody who had a lot of money, like a billionaire, and he made a big bet on our company along with our other investors. We also had a whole bunch of debt that needed to go away, and so we had a Series seed funding round. Everything kind of came together. We got the company in good shape. We took on some additional capital. We grew the shit out of the company. We almost broke it in every way. You have a challenge with culture. We spent $250,000 taking everyone to Nashville for 5 days to get to know each other, which was an awesome start and actually kept folks. We retained almost 100% of our staff for the first 12 months. We actually did not do anything other than team building activities. But after that, we learned that not everyone was a good fit. But because we were so constrained with how we grew the company, it was hard to get rid of the folks that were not value add, because you needed them in a way, even though they weren't the greatest resource. We just literally didn't have the bandwidth to replace. We should have raised more money. It was expensive as shit to operate on the West Coast. So we literally just got rid of our 3 California markets because doing business in California just didn't make sense for us. It was too hard to hire sales folks. A lot of the biggest thing with sales folks in media is a challenge when you're going up against Amazon and Google and Apple and all the tech startups that have more money that are invested in them that are probably going to fail anyways, but they can pay their salespeople too much money. Offering someone $250,000 a year as a starting base salary as a sales exec just didn't make sense. Literally, that's what we were being asked. 2023, scale and profit. We didn't get there as fast as we wanted to. Just closed about 90 days ago. Our Series A funding round. We're on pace to grow, not to net new markets, but to net new things that are focused around our core business areas. We got this loyal audience. They'll do what I tell them to do. Makes me really want to switch to some other industry verticals. But this trust and credibility is pretty interesting. We're really good at curating content from the market, narrating it, packaging, and delivery. So what for us, because we have this audience, we know how to communicate, we know how to take this thing and serve it to those people, and they're going to listen to what we tell them to do. We want to expand our reach. How do we do that without just launching net new markets? Each market costs us $400,000 a year to operate. Does about $1 million to $1.2 million in revenue. It's highly profitable, but it takes about 3 years to truly get to that level of margin. So what we're trying to do in the short term is expand audience. We're building an ad network now, trying to amass about 20 million daily subs, and we're more than halfway there. That's a new business line that we're taking to market. We're already selling to all these national advertisers. Why not build our pipeline and have 50 million? Because no one else has really done that in a good way with the newsletter product yet. Strategic partnerships, our relationship with Tegna, who is our lead investor. We're now doing a lot of stuff where we're taking our affiliate revenue brands and placing it onto their homepage. So they're traffic games. So right now we know that we can make money in all these different ways. We have city guides, we have affiliate revenue. We have our own e-commerce brand, and they only reach this audience. But when I go out and capture through strategic partnerships another 10, 20, 50 million subscribers, and I have that distribution, and oh, by the way, I'll deliver all your ads for you. We can rev share, but I want 10% of the inventory to place my own ads. And we're doing that negotiation and relationship with a lot of large publishers in the country right now, so we can push our own products as well. Some of those things look like this. We have city guides. Again, leverage what you have to make more money without doing any extra work. City guides, we make city guides in all of our markets. Our editorial staff builds them. Our tech now automatically pulls them and delivers them once a month, and it's sponsorable, $60,000 a year per market, 1 cent a month, city guides. Wellness newsletter, 12 cents a year, $5,000 a send to a market, meaning we're sending to like 50 to 100,000 subscribers, 60 grand times 26 markets. Wellness newsletters. Lockdown Sports, 207 sports teams with Tegna, managed special arrangement with Tegna, where they're investing to build the audience. And we're going to be delivering sports newsletters that's leveraging AI to read the podcast and deliver the content. So how do you package your content faster, more efficiently, and deliver? 6 and Main e-commerce store. During COVID, a lot of businesses on local level went to Shopify. How do you take and deliver an opportunity for local brands to reach the audience? One of the things that we recognize is a lot of our smaller brands can't afford to advertise in our newsletters, but we can create a different vehicle for them. So we created 6 Main, and now people are paying to advertise within that brand. And then our own version of Wirecutter is rolling out shortly through relationships with other affiliate partners, so that larger brands that don't fit into our core product can live parallel and separate in this affiliate brand. But we have some unique ways to get that distribution out to tens of millions of folks on a daily basis. I think one of the big things for us, themes matter, data matters, brand safety matters to ourselves and to our partners. And so one of the biggest things that we've learned over 7 years of doing this is how to scale efficiently, who our audience is, what's their purchase intent, what are they clicking on, what content resonates the best, what products do they want to buy, what industry verticals sell the best into our product. And now we're trying to figure out what are the goalposts for each of those folks, specifically on the advertising side. Hey, we need to get to 2.5 million subscribers. Hey, we need to really lean into travel and tourism. Delta just wants to buy and just own this travel and tourism newsletter. We need to get that thing spun up ASAP. We have most of the content. We just need to package it correctly and deliver it in a different way. We're literally spinning up a travel and tourism newsletter right now. We have all these city guides. Our content can be in the Delta, like as you're coming in on the airplane, on the screen, you can consume the content now. So how do we create the product that lets Delta sponsor it and pay way too much money for it? And then we just deliver it differently. So it's really just, these are packaging exercises around what we have, similar to products that you might be selling based on what kind of business that you are. So media and commerce, I think, are very similar in nature in how we go about doing things. The other thing I think that's interesting for us is user experience. We've had clunky products along the way. We've listened a lot to our audience. We poll our audience on a regular basis about the product. We track and pay attention to what things that they're clicking on, what things they're not clicking on, why they're clicking on them, gaining more and more insights on those folks, and then refining the product accordingly. A lot of our folks are like, it's too hard to buy advertising from you. So we just made a badass self-service portal, and most people would go build that in their own CMS or whatever. We just spun up our Shopify store to sell our newsletter ad inventory. When you got like 20 other people out there trying to create self-service newsletter ad inventory and spending $1 million building some tech platform, we literally did it in Shopify in 48 hours. So it's being smart and leveraging is that build buy concept. So many bigger brands do themselves the biggest disservice of trying to go build something. I think we talked to a publisher just the other day who went out and was building this whole platform that was related to newsletters and then asked us what we used, and they're going to get rid of the whole thing that they just built to use the buy option that we just recommended that's going to cost them way less. Everything that we do has been built, has been a buy experience. I've ever understand the build buy concept. We've bought most everything, and we're experts at integration, not experts at building things. We've learned over and over again that we're not experts at a lot of areas. Building tech, video, audio. So we're not doing podcasts, we're not doing video, we're not doing apps. You build competing audiences with yourselves. The Skim is a great example of shooting yourself in the foot when it went and tried to build its app after having this badass female-oriented newsletter. And then they went out and raised way too much money. They got too excited and they destroyed their business and prevented the ability really for an exit to happen. And a lot of the other modern media companies out there right now are watching do the same thing as they continue to share how they're laying everyone off and closing their doors because they've overexpanded into stuff that's outside their scope. So we're trying to stay pretty niche and narrow. We tested out for a little bit. We tried membership. It doesn't work. You shut it down. Switch to a different model. We switched to a giving campaign. It takes 5 days. It takes one human, and it makes 6 times as much money as we paid in an annual membership. So testing things, learning quickly, failing fast. All right, I think I'm getting the high sign. I'll be in the back.